Hello all, I just want to do a follow-up video from my original naked 2014 Hobie Pro Angler 14 kayak video. I just wanted to show some of the rigging where I'm at right now and things I've learned and do's and don'ts, at least from my perspective, and some of the things I like about the new 2014 Pro Angler. So, some basic rigging. You can see I installed Yak Attack's track system on both mounting boards. One thing I did learn that might be of interest to y'all if you're mounting on these boards here. I've seen a video from a retail store that does rigging, and they take these mounts and slide them all the way to the outside of the rail here, or the mounting board. Now, you can see that the gunnel, it's got a little thickness. It probably runs right up inside here where the boards are mounted to here. So I had some concerns about these fasteners going through into the hull, which I did not want to happen. The fasteners came through just marginally, so you probably could pre-drill and put the rails to the outside. That's something you might want to consider. I didn't. Will I go back and fix it or change it? Maybe at some point, but I don't feel like there's a need to. There's plenty of space on these mounting boards for other stuff. So some of the things I mounted to it, you can see this Lowrance Elite 7 unit here. It's got the dual hybrid, I guess, transducer, just a down scan and normal 200 hertz and kilohertz and 83. But what I want to point out is that this gear track component I have with these twist knobs and sliding component, I had to make a custom plate to interface between the ram mount and this here. But I didn't realize how moronic I was, and I should have just bought the 1-inch ball from Yak Attack and put it in the track and mounted this unit on that, which I'm probably going to go back and do and get rid of all this garbage. It does make it easier to probably slide up and down the track without having to twist the ball, but I don't find myself moving this up and down the track very much, so I don't think that would be that big an issue. One other thing to note is that this ram mount might be a little bit, let's say, flimsy for this heavy a unit. It does okay when I lay it down like this. You can see it's laid down. If you stick it up high, and I think also compounded with the issue that these tracks are mounted on the inboard side of the mounting plate, there's a little bit of wobble or flexibility there that can cause the screen to wobble a little bit. You can see even in this mount it wobbles a little bit, and I think it's just the nature of the way this ball setup is. It's convenient, but you have to sacrifice a little bit of stability. But the boat's rocking around anyway, so doesn't seem to be that big an issue. On the other side, you can see I've got the ram mount. The ram tube 2008. I'm somewhat happy with this model. You can see this is a kind of a standard rod and reel combo I go out with. This is a Conquer 4000 reel on a St. Croix rod. It's I think 5.5 rod. But the issue I'm having is, you can see, well, I have it fastened down, but the rod butt is too long, and the reel won't seat inside the tube, so you get a lot of play in the rod. I'm not sure how much I hate it or dislike that issue. I think it's great for holding rods, but not necessarily the best thing for trolling or it doesn't really seat and lock in to the holder very well. So I might change up and use this somewhere else just as a holder and get something else for trolling and seating the rod better up front on the boat. But otherwise it works fine. I have put a trolling rod in here before, and last time I was out, and the trolling rod butt will lock into the base of the this tube here. So that's one plus there. So if you're going to take a trolling rod and want to seat it down in the holder, that would work for you probably. I've done a lot of custom ties and stuff. I need to go back and shrink wrap these fittings, but just use some shock cord and hog rings, and made my little closed loop there, and then put a Hobie clip on the other side. Pretty much did that around the entire boat to lock in my rods, so I don't risk losing all my gear. So you'll see that throughout the boat. Got the trolley system on. I haven't really used it that much yet. I probably will more when I go out in the bay and the winds are blowing. I'll put a drift sock out or anchor in semi-shallow water, and use it in the creeks and stuff for the stakeout pole. Let's see what else. I finally got my Hobie battery kit in the boat, and thought I might show you that. So I debated on this kit for a while. It comes with the that mount that attaches to the accessory post or mast post. I think in the Pro Angler they don't call it like a mast post, they call it an accessory post, I think, because I don't think they really recommend or plan on using sails on these boats. But it comes with wiring. It comes with some nice watertight connections for disconnecting to and connecting to the charging system that came with the this kit. It's got the fuse block there, which is great, and plenty of cabling. I've actually cut this cabling down quite a bit. I left a little bit of excess cabling for I might put a little fuse block in here and run some other accessories off this, which I think would be nice. Battery wise, plenty of power to power even the Elite 7 unit. I've used a smaller battery temporarily, and I've had plenty of power with that battery too. I was concerned about power consumption, but this is a I think it's an 8 amp hour battery, this Remco battery. I think it's a nice product. One thing that's nice, the speed connectors are all pre-wired and sealed, so that's a nice feature. Was the kit worth the money? Probably. It was easier to rig. It's quick. I mean, you know, maybe half an hour to run all the wiring and rig it. You know, a couple screws and you're done. You might be able to save a couple bucks if you try to put these pieces together. You can buy the brackets separately. And, the battery isn't necessarily cheap either. I think it's a quality battery, so you might save 20-30 bucks over the 110-12 bucks that this thing costs, but the kit costs. So you can go out there and shop around for the pieces, but for me it was easier just to buy the kit and save trips around the store to buy connectors and cables and stuff that I may not have had in the garage sitting around to wire everything up. So it came fully charged, and I am noticing it's got plenty of voltage right from a full charge. I had 13 volts on the unit. So I'm happy with that, and it worked out great. And I just zipped up the wires to the tubes inside, secure everything. Let's see, is there anything else I'll point out here rigging wise? I'm about to head out fishing on the creek here. This is St. Jerome Creek, and it goes out into the Chesapeake Bay, so I gotta hurry up and get out while I got the right tide here. But one thing I did notice with this Hobie live well, I'm not sure if it's because this was an older live well sitting around at the shop, or if the new ones come a little bit different. The pickup tube that's on the starboard side and on the other side of the boat wasn't long enough to go through the scupper holes and pick up water, so I had to buy some extra tubing, you know, maybe $1 or so for some tubing, redo that to make sure that the tubing was long enough to pick up water. I'm going to go out and test that this morning, make sure it does pick water, and hopefully I can keep a rockfish in there. We'll see. So that's about it. And got these rod extenders all set up, and you know, they're wrapped. Got wraps around my rods here. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it, with the kayak so far. Rigging wise, it's been pretty simple, and getting into kayaking now, and it's been a pleasure in this boat. One last thing I want to point out, this is there's a couple additions I think I mentioned in my other video. This rudder tensioner I have used, especially when I have high currents in this creek. It does tighten down the rudder and allow you to have more stable steering, and then you can loosen up when you want more comfortable kind of ride home, kind of looser controls. And then I forgot to mention this is kind of neat how I guess this is new, they added this little flare in the pedal system here, the Mirage Drive, to keep water from splashing up through the hole for this unit. So overall, I'm very happy with the boat. It's very stable. You can climb back in the boat and access in the back. I haven't had any issues with that. So I'm off to go fishing, and hopefully I'll do some more updates and make some corrections to the things that I didn't like. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them at the bottom of this video. I'm going to load this up on YouTube, and you know, if you want to point me to any other places for stuff for rigging, or if you had any ideas that would be helpful to me fishing kind of brackish and you know, large creeks and the Chesapeake Bay here in southern Maryland. Okay, well, thanks. I'll post more videos in the future, and have fun fishing.